Y'all, I am from Canton, Mississippi. For those of y'all that might not know, it is in the Jackson, Mississippi metro area. I've been a resident of this area for 39 years. And I must say that there are no sundown towns where I'm from. It's a shame that I have to say that, but I must. Also, there is no one who is randomly killing people and just burying them behind jails in Jackson. Not as a common occurrence. That is not what is happening. However, if you pay attention to social media, they would have you think that it is 1911 right here in Mississippi. They would have you believe that it's the late 1800s round here in Mississippi. And while we have our problems, we have our concerns, we have our struggles, we do face racial discrimination, but god damn, can we give our elders and our ancestors some credit? Can we do that? Can we give our mothers and fathers and our grandparents some credit? Can we give those who have gone on, some who gave their life for the struggle against white supremacy, can we give them some fucking credit? It's a damn shame that I have to say that on Dr. King weekend. It's a damn shame. But I must. And fuck it, I will. What you talking about, Fur? I'm about to tell y'all what I'm talking about. Maybe I got some of y'all on here that don't keep up with what's going on social media and shit, and you haven't been paying attention. So I fill you in. And then per usual, I will provide some straightening. Okay. But before I do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Put all your people on it. Okay. I don't know, y'all. It angers me that some people use the internet in ways that are harmful to society. They really do. Like the internet is a blessing. I would not be able to communicate with you if it was not for the internet. However, there are some who do not have the same kind of standards that I have for communicating with y'all. I'm not finna motherfucking come on here and talk from a place of authority about something without me knowing the motherfucking facts. And if I don't know the facts, I would tell y'all I don't know. But we got people who get on this internet, and some do it intentionally, who just get on here and make up shit, put it out there to get engagement. Why? Because it is profitable at the end of the day. the larger your following, then you can attract sponsors. You can have people pay you to post, all that kind of shit. It can be very lucrative. Okay. That's what I hope to attain. But see, my process is slower because I'm doing it the right way. Some people don't give a fuck about that. Some people want to get on the internet and just be inflammatory and put shit out there. Shit like Jackson, Mississippi is a sundown town. That's what some girl went viral for saying that Jackson, Mississippi, the capital city of Mississippi, that has a motherfucking black mayor named Chokwe Lumumba, that has what, an 80% black population, that has a majority black city council, a city council that features a man by the name of Kenny Stokes. If y'all ain't from the area and you don't know who the fuck Kenny Stokes is, just YouTube Kenny Stokes and see some of the shit he says. Okay. People are saying, this young lady and others are saying that a place like Jackson is a sundown town. Now, some my youngins out there may not know truly what a sundown town is, and I'm seeing that a lot. That some people really don't know truly what the fuck that means. Okay. A sundown town historically was a town, city, that if a black person was not off the streets before sundown, they could face violence. Okay? You could be minding your motherfucking business, but just the fact that you dared be doing something that white society thought you shouldn't be doing, you could face violence. Okay? That's a motherfucking sundown town. And I'm not just talking about violence at the hands of the police. I'm not just talking about violence at the hands of the police. No, I'm not. I'm talking about vigilante violence. Okay? Random white folks doing something to you. You understand? That's not what we have here in Jackson, Mississippi. That's not what we have in Canton, Mississippi, Madison, Mississippi. That's not what we have in Gluckstadt, Mississippi, Ridgeland, Mississippi, Pearl, Mississippi, Brandon, Mississippi. That's not what the fuck we have. Do we have issues? Motherfucking right we do. Over there in Rankin County, Mississippi, we just had a whole situation with some group of police officers called the quote-unquote goon squad who are terrorizing people. Yes, we do. In my hometown of Canton, Mississippi, right before the pandemic hit, okay, it was starting to make national news that the county police here in Madison County, Mississippi, was arresting black residents at a staggering rate compared to white residents, okay? Notice who I'm saying doing the fuck shit. The police. That's the same shit we see throughout America. That's the same shit you see in New York, the same shit you see in LA, the same shit you see in Oakland, in Detroit, in Memphis. Hell, in Memphis, we saw black police officers beat the shit out of a black man. We know America has a motherfucking police problem. Can I offer you George Floyd in the battle? Have we forgotten that quickly? But these motherfuckers acting like it's just vigilante shit out here where if I leave my house, it's nighttime right now. Like, so if I leave my house right now and I live in Madison County, Mississippi, just a random white boy might drive up in a pickup truck and say, "Hey, boy, what you doing out?" Then go string me up somewhere. That ain't what the fuck is going on. That's not what the fuck is going on. I'm real enough to bring up, we did have some of that happen years ago in Jackson, where you had some youngins from some young white kids from Rankin County, Mississippi, who would drive into Jackson and they would say, "Let's go to Jaffrika, and fuck with some niggers." Okay, and they fucked around and killed a man. They fucked around and killed a man named James Craig Anderson, if I'm not mistaken. This is James Craig Anderson, y'all. Okay. So, yes, that did happen in Jackson. And yes, that was white vigilante violence. Those motherfuckers were put on trial and convicted. Can we give our elders and ancestors some credit? We're not where we want to be. If we were where we want to be, that shit would have never happened. And I want to say everybody involved didn't get what they deserved. But if we were where we used to be, where our ancestors were, where our elders were, where my motherfucking mama was, she was born in 1947. When my mama was born, if somebody, a white person, would have killed James Craig Anderson in that same way, they wouldn't have gone no fucking jail. They wouldn't have gone to jail. Can we give our elders, can we give our ancestors some credit? We're not facing exactly what the fuck they faced. I thank God for them that we're not. Take a look at this shit, y'all. This is a picture that's a part of my collection on lynchings. I gathered this collection from a website called withoutsanctuary.org. I used these pictures during my instruction. I was initially introduced to such images when I was in college by one of my mentors, Dr. Curtis Austin, an expert in pretty much all things black people in America, but definitely an expert in the black diaspora, the Black Liberation Movement, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, you name it. Shout out to Doc. But see, I show these pictures to high school kids because I try to go ahead and make them aware and put them on game of where we were in this motherfucking country. Take a look at this picture. It's hard to see this, but this is a lynching in which you see all these motherfuckers out here. Now that arrow is pointing to where the individual is being lynched. Okay? And look at all these folks out here. Just watch. And this shit happened to be sent as a goddamn postcard. You can't really see the writing, but this motherfucker telling somebody all okay. All okay. And this motherfucker out there watching somebody get murdered. That's where we were. And that is not where we are currently. That ain't where we are in Mississippi or nowhere else in motherfucking America. That ain't where we are. Give our elders and our ancestors some credit. That's not where we are. Look at this one. What these motherfuckers up here burning this black man alive? Look at all these motherfuckers gathered around watching it. This is not where we are. It's where we were. It's not where we are. Give our ancestors, give our elders some credit. Can they get some? Take a look at this one. Well, that's at least 1, 2, 3 individuals right there. Strange Fruit. Who was that? Billie Holiday with that record? I might be wrong. Show my OG C. Lee Mac Innocent know. Strange fruit hanging from the tree. And look at these motherfuckers in the background. They ain't trying to hide their face. Why would they try to hide their face? There'll be no consequence. Vigilante justice. You ain't seen no goddamn police yet. That is not where we are. That is not where we are in Mississippi. Why are motherfuckers trying to make it like we are? Listen, y'all, as fucked up as the world is, as fucked up as the world is, and it's fucked up, I can make an argument that the world is in the best place it's ever been. I can make that fucking argument. What you talking about, Ferg? You going too far now. No, the fuck I'm not. Because once upon a time, this shit was the norm in America. Once upon a time, that shit was happening and it was normal in America. It's not now. It's not. And I can say that about not only racism, I say that about sexism, I can say that about life expectancy amongst human beings. I can say that about so many goddamn things. I'll make another video about that. Okay. But I have to remind myself of these things from time to time when I'm so upset about what's going on in the world. I had to say, hey, give your elders and your ancestors some motherfucking credit because they have pushed this bitch forward. And so it's on you to keep pushing it. But we can't keep pushing it forward if we keep sitting up here acting like we have not moved forward at all, or acting like there are things going on that aren't. Or if we have a false sense of security about where we are. See, things have been moved forward, but some of y'all out there got a false sense of security where you are, like everything gravy. And no, the fuck it's not. No, it's not. And I don't give a fuck where you live. I don't give a fuck where you live. We have a police problem in America, not just Mississippi. We have a police problem in America. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Now that I've addressed the shit about the Sundown town, and shout out to all of y'all that saw my humorous video about it. Sometimes I like to take stuff that pisses me off and do something humorous about it, just goddamn to calm me down. All right, I meant every word of that video, by the way. I was in those motherfucking motels in Jackson, Mississippi after sundown. Those over there on Northside Drive and Mega Evers. My little yellow ass was off in them. Okay. Stupidly, youngers that watch this, don't do that. That was stupid. I ain't had the first strap or nothing. Okay. Didn't make no sense. But I wasn't worried about walking out and being snatched up by the Klan. That's not what I was worried about. Hell, I wasn't worried about nothing. My little horny ass was just trying to do something. You know what I'm talking about? But I guess I should have been worried about the Jack Boys or some shit like that. Because that is a problem we have in the Jackson metro area. That's a problem. Just like in Detroit, just like in Oakland, just like in Baltimore, goddamn it, you name it. Come on, man. See, this shit's so motherfucking wild. Well, people started to point the finger in Mississippi, but then I see some shit come across my timeline about that guy Keith Lee, the one that the food critic. Well, he went to what, Oakland? And basically was saying that Oakland, people just trying to survive. Shit. And it wasn't like inviting the tourism. That's California, baby. I've heard about LA and the homeless population out there and how uninviting that is. All these motherfucking rappers get on these records and talk about, oh, Compton, California. And these rappers get on these records and talk about how fucked up New York is. From Harlem, ooh, the Bronx, Brooklyn. This is the whole song where I'm from. That shit don't sound inviting to me. Doesn't. Watch that goddamn BMF show. See how these motherfuckers depict Detroit. The list goes on and on. See, that's one of the craziest things about my goddamn community. We got some in our community that like to argue about who got the most fucked up home. And then you got some in our community that try to act like their home is just everything gravy. What you talking about first? Y'all heard motherfuckers get the argument, even nickname their city certain shit and try to talk about how gangster and hard this shit is. Chirac. We don't play that shit in Chirac. Oh, this Baltimore, not Baltimore, Maryland. This is Bodymore, Murderland around this bitch. Cashville, Tennessee. I bet y'all wouldn't come down here to Houston talking that shit. New Orleans, murder capital, we do. Come on, man. LA, you got to check in when you come up in the bit. Come on, man. But then on the other side of the spectrum, you have motherfuckers try to say, I would never live in Mississippi. I would never live in Mississippi. Why are you still in Mississippi? Don't you know we're free? What the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about, man? See, when I was in my 20s, and it was my first year teaching high school, got into an argument with one of my beloved youngins, Justin Ellis. Shout out to my youngin', I love you. And like I said, I'm from Canton, Mississippi. He's from Pickens, Mississippi. Both towns are tough. Okay. Both towns are tough. And again, I'm still in my 20s, mid-20s, somewhere like that. Like maybe, I don't fucking know. Maybe 24 years old or something. I don't know. I can't fucking remember. But we get into a back and forth about Canton versus Pickens and which one where the folks be selling the most dope and which one where folks be having the most murders. And then something kicked in. Guess God kicked in and slapped me in the back of the head and said, why are you here arguing with this young man about which one of y'all's lives are more fucked up? Why are you arguing about that? Why are you arguing about whose home is more fucked up? Like, that's like during slavery, if motherfuckers would be arguing about whose slave master was more brutal, which I've read shit about some doing that. Like, your life be so fucked up and it's like no way to overcome it, and then you just accept that shit, and then you just start to debate that. Well, yeah, I'm it's like you debating what you survived, and so like you can't escape it, so at least you take some kind of pride in being able to survive the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? So we have that type of shit go on in our community. But then on the other hand, you got some folks in here that think because they have moved to Texas and they got a job in Texas working for somebody, okay, that, oh, everything is hunky-dory, everything is great. They think because they done went to Florida and they work for Disney that everything is hunky-dory. They think because they done moved to Atlanta and they clean up the toilets in Tyler Perry Studios, and oh, everything is hunky-dory. Okay, yes, getting a job is good, and yes, Mississippi is the poorest state in the union. We need jobs in this motherfucker. We need this state to further industrialize. Yes, we do. But don't get it twisted. Them motherfuckers those states don't like you. Just like Governor Tate Reeves don't like a motherfucker like me. Governor Greg Abbott don't like your black ass in Texas. Governor Ron DeSantis don't like your black ass in Florida. That son bitch that stole that election from Stacey Abrams don't like your black ass in Georgia. The list can go on and on, goddammit. The list goes on and fucking on. You understand? They want your label. They want your motherfucking label. Just like they've always wanted our label. I ain't telling you what, this ain't my opinion, this is what the books say. They wanted black labor in this bitch. Since 1619, black labor has been wanted. It's been desired. It has. That shit has not changed. But these motherfuckers ain't wanted black liberation. Show me the state that is fully for black liberation in this bitch. Show me that state. I consider moving there. Show me the state. Well, we ain't got to worry about the motherfucking police. Show me the state. Well, we ain't got to worry about discrimination in lending. Show me the state. Show it to me. You can't. You can't. You can't. So when you hear shit about a brother by the name of Dexter Wade, who I already did a story about the brother. I already did a segment, I should say, about the brother, what? I don't know, a month ago? I might have done that shit a month ago. Okay? Hold on. I want to be thorough. I want to double check. Shit, here it is. Here it is. I filmed the segment about Brother Wade on October 31st. October 31st. Okay? This is episode 187, put it on something. So I put this shit in episode 176. I didn't ignore the goddamn story. While the rest of the country was, motherfucker like me didn't ignore the story. Okay? I filmed it on October 31st, put it out shortly after. Okay? Because, as you can see here, it says Jackson, Mississippi police ran over, killed, and buried Dexter Wade without notifying his family. That is fucked up. That is fucked up. But see, folks got to come in and TikTok and all this other shit get hold to it, which we need. See, that's the fucked up thing about it. Here in Mississippi, small state, like our influence on America is like pound for pound. If we do like a pound for pound list of influence on America, goddamn it, Mississippi way up there. Way up there. Yeah, your heavyweights in New York and California, Illinois, Texas, shit like that. But I'm talking about on the pound for pound list. Okay. A lot of these other small ass states, they don't have the kind of influence culturally that Mississippi does. Okay. But because of our small size and because of the domination of white conservatives in this state, historically, whether it was white conservative Democrats back in the day, pre-civil rights movement, and then we know those white conservatives moved into the Republican Party, okay, after the Dixiecrat revolt during the civil rights era, okay? So now we have a state that is 37% black, 37, 38, not 45% black, as Jamel Hill, who I fuck with, but we are not 45% black, it's like 37, okay? But in a state that's like 37% black, 36, 37, somewhere up in there, we're still dominated from top to bottom by white conservative Republicans in our statewide offices. So in a state like this, we do need outside media affiliates to start covering some of this shit so maybe the public shame will make these motherfuckers do right. We do need that. What we don't need is for people to make up shit. Because then what people do is just start to pile on and Mississippi bash. And one of the things that I fought it when I was a classroom teacher and a coach, and I still fight it today as a businessman, as an entertainer. I still fight this notion of not only white supremacy, god damn it, because I'm not in the business of trying to make a white supremacist love me. I ain't in that business. I am in the business of trying to make black people love themselves. I'm in that business. And there are a lot of black people in Mississippi who don't like being black Mississippians. So when the rest of the country start piling on and shit like that, man, it makes my motherfucking movement harder. We ain't gotta be there. Look, all they had to do got all these folks just had to comment on the story as it is. The police ran over a brother, and it gets deeper than even this, okay? And we want to get for real. It get deeper than even that because Mr. Wade's mama was a part of a lawsuit suing Jackson Police Department because her brother had got killed by the police. So this might have been some corruption shit. But again, we got a black mayor in Jackson. We got a black police chief. So really, this is a police corruption or police ineptitude situation. That's what this shit is. But these motherfuckers done turn this shit into sundown towns and 215 bodies found behind the jail. And people just hear that shit and thinking that, oh, the Klan is back at it and they just murking everybody and tossing them behind a jail or something, goddamn it. That ain't what the fuck happened. That's not what the fuck happened. That, or you might say, well, what about the 215 bodies then, first? Have y'all never heard of something called pauper's graves? That's something that we find around the motherfucking country, where they bury people who are unknown or who are not claimed. Now, in Mr. Wade's situation, he had ID on him. Again, his mama was already in a situation with the police, so they probably knew about her. That situation just fucked up. Just say what it is. You ain't gotta make up shit. But a lot of these other folks, the situation where the police just not notifying people. A police department not doing their motherfucking jobs. That's the story. Like so many police departments around the country. Not doing what they say they gonna do, serving and protecting. But these motherfuckers done took this story and turned it into something else. We don't need that. That shit don't move the needle for us. That shit makes us defensive. Because we got enough real shit to deal with. Enough real shit to deal with. Motherfuckers ain't gotta make up shit. It's very similar to what I keep saying every year. I'm gonna stay on folks' ass about that damn picture of Dr. King. That picture of Dr. King where he's laid up in the hospital bed, and motherfuckers on social media that took that shit and ran with it and told folks that, see, Dr. King survived being shot, and see, that's him in the hospital bed. But the government sent in somebody to his hospital room, the doctors or the nurses or somebody from the FBI, the CIA went in his room and smothered him to death. No, the fuck they did not. Why do you have to make up salacious shit when the real story is fucked up enough? The real story is fucked up enough that this man of peace, this man of nonviolence, this man who was a fucking reverend, a family man, eloquent, educated, was surveilled by his government, phone tapped. His government tried to convince him to commit suicide. His government basically sanctioned his shooting, particularly because he was up there speaking out against the Vietnam War and becoming more forceful in his rhetoric about the economic plight of not only black people, but of all poor people in America. So much so that his wife and them filed a lawsuit against the federal government for the wrongful death of Dr. King, and they won. And she didn't do it for the money. I think in the judgment, she took $1 or something. It just was on the principle. Go look that up. The picture of him in the motherfucking hospital bed is from him being stabbed at a book signing by a deranged black woman. If you listen to his speech, I've been to the mountaintop, he talks about that shit in the speech. That's supposed to be one of the most notable speeches he got, other than I Have a Dream, because it's the speech he delivered before he really got killed. He talks about being stabbed by this woman, and then he talks about how if he would have sneezed, he would have died. And he talked about the little white girl writing him the note and saying, "I'm so glad you didn't sneeze." But you see how people take some real shit that's bad enough and, oh, that ain't juicy enough. They gotta add something to the conspiracy. Just like this situation. It is fucked up that Dexter Wade was hit by police, buried, and his folks were not notified, even though his mama was looking for him and calling the goddamn police looking for him. That is fucked up, but that's the story. Those bodies found behind the jail that's in Hinds County, but not in Jackson, those bodies were in a pauper's field. And it's fucked up that we have those throughout America. I mentioned a sister that I fuck with, Jamel Hill. She put out some shit, and she supposed to be a big time journalist, capital J journalist, went to school for this shit, okay? She put out something talking about is Mississippi the most racist place? Jackson, Mississippi. She didn't just say Mississippi. Is Jackson, Mississippi the most racist place in America? Okay. Now, if she just will say Mississippi, I might have to roll with her on that. Because while this shit exists everywhere, yes, in Mississippi, I would argue we catch it more because there's a higher percentage of us here, black people here. And because of that, these motherfuckers historically have had to be even more extreme in their policies to try to keep us subjugated. You see what I'm saying? But she said Jackson, Mississippi, with Chokwe Antar motherfucking Lumumba as the damn mayor. Like he enacting racist policies or some shit. Now he and the city council and the goddamn police department might be doing some incompetent shit, but I wouldn't say he's doing it as a racist. God damn it, he black. His motherfucking daddy was a black liberation fighter. Go look up his pop, Chokwe Lumumba. He's the lawyer that got Tupac off for shooting them damn off-duty police officers. Okay? But back to what I was saying about Jamel Hill. She put something out about the 215 bodies and shit, but it didn't take me long. All I had to do was type in Detroit Poppers. Hold on, let me make sure I tell y'all exactly what the fuck I typed in case y'all want to do it. I typed in Popper's Grave, Detroit. Scroll down to find a credible source. Found NPR. Same NPR that ran the story on what's going on with Dexter Wade. Okay. The headline, this is from June 3rd, 2013, goddammit. Cash-strapped cities struggle to bury their unclaimed dead. I scroll down, and I'm going to read y'all this paragraph. It says, Albert Samuels, chief investigator for the Wayne County Medical Examiner, is in charge of burying the bodies no one else wants in Detroit. At any given time, he says, there are usually about 100 unclaimed bodies, like Latham's here, okay? I guess the Latham is somebody that we're talking about earlier in the article. But there is only enough state and county funding to bury a dozen of them at a time. A few times a year. The rest, wait. We've had people here for a year and a half, 2 years, he explains. So right now, it's basically an economics thing. There's only so much in the budget, in the state budget, in the county budget to handle these matters. Just like we have to take care of the dead, we also have to take care of the living, okay? Samuel says he hears similar stories from medical examiners across the United States. It's not just Detroit. This is happening all over the country. It's happening in North America. You go out to Las Vegas, they got the same problem. Milwaukee's got the same problem, he says. So what we need to do is examine, how do we treat the dead who happen to not have money across this whole motherfucking country? Maybe we need to address that and say that this is a motherfucking American issue. That paupers' graves is an American issue. That how we treat people from struggle is an American issue, not just a Mississippi issue. As I've said, and I'll continue to say, America is Mississippi. Some of these places that are more liberal than Mississippi, some of these places that seem to be more welcoming to the black man and woman than Mississippi. I would love to see what laws they enact if their states had the same percentage of black people in it as Mississippi does. Because, see, I've read about the Great Migration. And I know the stories when our people started moving to the Chicagos and the Detroits and the Milwaukees and the LAs and the New Yorks and stuff like that. And how racist whites would be like, the niggas are taking over. How racist whites would try to make sure that our people were boxed off in these ghettos and shit. Come on, man. This is an American problem. What you see here in Mississippi, you see across the country. You can call Mississippi America's mirror. So when you look at Mississippi and you point your finger at us, I want you to remember, you're looking at your own experience. Okay? And I wish you well in your struggle against racial discrimination, against sexism, against any form of hatred, bigotry, and discrimination. I wish you well in your struggle, wherever the fuck you are in this world. But just know we share the same fucking struggle. It's varying levels of it, depending on various variables. In my situation, I live in a state where we are a sizable part of this state. And because of that, these motherfuckers want to try to do their best to make sure that we don't attain power. I live in a state where we have a whole region called the Mississippi Delta. That's basically a black region. Okay? See, in all these other motherfucking states, you ain't got no black region. You got chocolate cities. The Mississippi Delta is a whole fucking region of black people. Majority black people. Why? A legacy of slavery. the land is so fertile. So many of our people were brought to that place to work. And then afterwards, yeah, most people, talk about leaving a place, but most people reside where they're born. Even after the Great Migration, it is still hella black people in the Mississippi Delta. And yes, the Mississippi Delta has still some of the most fertile farmland on planet Earth. But now they got those big tractors out there doing the work that so many of our people used to do for free. And then during the sharecropping era, now those tractors are doing the work that our people used to do for a little bit of nothing during the sharecropping era, I should say. So now, yeah, it's some money being made in the Mississippi Delta, but you got a landowner that's owning acres and acres and acres of land and not having to really employ anybody. And so, no, you got a whole bunch of people who don't have anywhere to work. That's why I say we need to industrialize. But it's a majority black region. Well, you think the benevolent, or we think we should just count on the benevolence of white America to come through this majority black region and just drop jobs off there? They ain't gonna do that. I sure hope so, but they look out for themselves. So instead of pointing the finger at Mississippi like that, why not look at the Mississippi Delta as an opportunity and stop saying, "Oh, I'll never live in Mississippi"? How about look at Mississippi as a place where you can come down as a hustler, as an entrepreneur, as a black person? God damn it, they would welcome you there if you can come bring some jobs to that bitch. Welcome you. Saw comedian Carlos Miller, who's from Mississippi, say like down in Mississippi, like, oh yeah, it's fucked up down there. Woo woo. You getting money. You can come buy up hella land in the Mississippi Delta. I don't know how much money he got, but I know he's successful. So my brothers, listen to him. The folks don't think that way. Folks don't think about founding shit. Motherfuckers want to go somewhere and enrich a founder. Motherfuckers don't think about being an entrepreneur and taking advantage of an opportunity. Motherfuckers think about I'm just gonna go work for the entrepreneur, and so he can take advantage of me. So I can help him gain from the risk that he took. I need somebody to be revolutionary and with some hustle to them and goddamn look at this as an opportunity. You get your growth out of places like Mississippi. That's where you get your growth. White America does that. I brought up Madison, Mississippi previously. Madison, Mississippi now is one of the richest cities in the state of Mississippi. It didn't always look like it does today. No, it did not. It didn't look like that 20 years ago. I went to high school there. It didn't look like that. But they invested. They built up that town into the city that it is. We can do that shit. We can do that shit. But not when our rich, I'm talking about black folk, not when our rich, not when our celebrities, not when our people with platforms just saying, look at Mississippi, I would never go there. Come on, man. Come on, man. If you just gonna point your motherfucking finger at us without realizing you're pointing your finger at a mirror and looking at your own plight in this bitch, if you ain't gonna be trying to help us improve our situation, if you ain't gonna be trying to help improve your own fucked up situation where you are, just be quiet. This movement shit ain't for you then. But if you are about that life, if you do want to help us achieve liberation, if you want us to help you achieve liberation, I look forward to partnering with you. And I ask that God blesses you. Because despite what any motherfucker may say, America is Mississippi. And while America is Mississippi, Mississippi nor America is the Mississippi or America that our elders and our ancestors were born into. And for that, we should give them some credit. For that, we should honor them. And because of that, we should do our best to continue to push things forward throughout this fucking country. Put it on something.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel, because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.